Hey, packages are delivered out back. Well, I hope you'll forgive me, but this one is for you. For me? And I personally wanted to make sure that you got it. Welcome back. If you're an AI filmmaker creating dialogue scenes, there's a really important rule called the 180-degree rule that's relevant in live-action filmmaking, animated filmmaking, and of course, generative AI filmmaking that we all want to follow if we want our scenes to be legible to the audience and not call attention to themselves. So your prompt might be with your two character elements, something like make a medium shot of a man and a woman talking. It's very common to get them in this sort of blocking arrangement here with the two actors looking at each other, and we're looking at them from one side. Now that side is very important and has to do with the 180-degree rule, but we will get there. So we have our medium shot. We could almost call it an establishing shot where we're not establishing the entire location, but we're establishing where the actors are relative to each other and where they are relative to the environment. It's really important. Next, we're going to start generating our coverage or the different shots that make this dialogue scene come together. So let's start by creating a medium shot or close-up of the male actor talking. And so we're going to take our wide shot of our two actors. We're going to put that into, say, Google Nano Banana Pro, and we're going to say make a close-up shot of the man over the shoulder of the woman, or you could also say behind the woman. Over the shoulder, it basically recognizes as a film industry term, so I would recommend using it. Now, if you're using Higgsfield specifically, you can add a number of variations to that prompt. And what I found is if you do 2 or 4 variations of this prompt, of the wide shot, you will get coverage very standard to how you would get in the real world. And the funny thing is, if you look at the two bottom examples, we have a close-up of our male actor over the right shoulder of the woman, and then we have a close-up of the man over the left shoulder of the woman. Now, the question is, which one of those is correct? Let me know if you know already. I didn't label them, but is it the left one or the right one? We'll find out. So let's continue creating coverage, and we're going to prompt close-up shot of the woman over the shoulder of the man, the reverse shot, as it's called in the real world. So we've generated our coverage and kind of the bare bones minimum you would need for a dialogue scene. It is a 2-shot of the two actors, and then close-ups of the male and the female actor. And the question is, again, the whole point of this video is choosing which one actually makes sense and which one you should be using in your film in like probably 99% of cases. So let's start by doing it the wrong way and breaking the 180-degree rule. So in our medium shot here of our two actors, this is our establishing shot in that it establishes which way the actors are both facing and how they are positioned relative to the environment. The goal is to keep the orientation of the actors as far as screen direction the same throughout the entire scene and to not get the viewer disoriented. So when we start here, we have our actor, our male actor on the left side of the screen, and he's looking to screen right. And then obviously we have our female actor on the right side of the frame looking screen left, right? If we were to then cut to this shot here, we have flipped the position of the male actor. He is now in this cut, all of a sudden jumping to the right side, and his eye line is again flipped. This is overall jarring in most cases. It can be used as a cinematic filmmaking device to have a jarring moment, but generally in a normal dialogue scene, you wouldn't want to do this, and it sort of confuses people. Again, if we were to cut from this top shot to the bottom one, you can see again, her position is switched. She's switched sides of the frame, and she's looking the other direction. This is called breaking the 180-degree rule, and it's breaking the line of coverage, however you want to think about it. In the real world, we have to worry about where do you place the physical camera. In 3D, we also have to think about that. In generative AI world, it's not exactly what we're doing. I suppose there's no real camera here, but the idea is to keep them on the same side of the frame. So this would be the wrong choices if you want things to be normal. So now let's look at the correct way of executing a dialogue scene that adheres to the 180-degree rule. Again, we have our medium shot, actor, male actor on the left, looking to the right, female actor on the right, looking to the left. We want to keep that the same when we cut. You can see now that when we cut to his medium shot, we've moved the camera at least 30 degrees. That's part of it. But again, in AI, that's a little bit harder to control. But anyway, we've moved the camera off axis quite a bit from this camera angle, but he's still on the same side of the screen, and his eyes are also in the relatively same place here. And we like that he's looking to the right as well. We've basically kept the kind of coherence of the scene here, like temporally, spatially. It just feels right because his screen direction hasn't changed and he's on the same side of the screen. So now if you cut between any of these shots, the spatial kind of like establishing that we've created of these two characters will stay the same and the scene will read rather normally. So that's the filmmaking lesson for this video. It's honestly relevant in the real world, in 3D and animation. This rule is a golden rule that you generally don't want to break. But let's talk a little bit about the actual short form itself. And I said short form, I meant short film. So a lot of the MOS performances where they're not talking, I'm just using Kling and Higgs field to generate that. I just prompt in it. I take a still and I prompt, he puts down the box and looks at her. Or he looks up into the sky and smiles. Those are pure AI performances, and they're not too bad, I must say. But when it comes to dialogue, I want to try Seed Dance 1.5 Pro. I'm okay with VO. Kling is kind of okay. But generally, when you let the AI generate the voice and the performance, there's something kind of like not quite right just yet. I think it's going to get better, but I'm still a huge fan of Kling Motion Control, where I'm going to record a video of me talking, use that audio, and use that facial performance to drive the character. I just think that that's better, and that's what I've really been leaning on. So when it came to recording this script, what I generally do is generate the whole film first, having a rough idea of what I'm going for, and then this is the actual script I bring down into the studio to record from. So I basically have the shots. I know where they're going to be positioned. This one's very basic. They just sit like standing there basically. But what's important is I want to know which way they're looking and their eye line. Because if you watched my video on Kling Motion Control, depending on the settings you use, if you look this way, right, in the video you record of yourself, the character in the AI film will also be looking in this screen direction. And again, that might be the wrong screen direction based on the 180-degree rule. So it's very important, in my opinion, if you're going to be using Kling Motion Control and you're going to be using Orient to Video, is what it's called, is to understand which way you're supposed to be looking to have the performance be correct. So that's why I'm generally going to have a screenshot of the scene that I'll be acting, and then the line, a little bit of a note, and then I'll know to act in that same screen direction. Like she needs to look off screen this way, right? And I always find this helpful. I'm going to play a little montage of the different Kling Motion Control takes that show my performance and show the final video, just so that we can kind of see and look at how this is evolving. I'm sure in a year from now, this will look elementary and it'll be much better, but I'm still pretty happy with the results overall.
Hey, packages are delivered out back. Well, I hope you'll forgive me, but this one is for you. For me? And I personally wanted to make sure that you got it.
Great, so that wraps it up for this video, the 180-degree rule. That name makes a lot more sense in the real world or in 3D, but for AI filmmakers, make sure that in your dialogue scene, once you establish where the actors are in the world, keep them on the same side of the frame, looking the same direction, and your scene will generally make sense. I will see you on the next video. Let me know if you have any questions about the workflow, the technical, or about the line, or any requests you have for upcoming videos. I'll see you on the next one.